Speakers?
Sometimes. Sometimes I bring the speaker, sometimes I don't. It depends how hard I want to party. You know what I mean?
I mean, like, will you ever just throw on, like, light jams or something, or?
Yeah, dude, yeah, see, that's the thing. I used to always travel with a speaker, but then you don't really want to be a loud person when you're traveling.
Yeah.
If you're staying at someone's house, you want to be kind of, like, as sleek and as quiet as possible. So if you have a speaker and you're probably playing your own music, and they might listen to different music.
Yeah, see, it's kind of tough, especially when you're going to their place.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's usually better to not have a speaker.
Yeah.
But if I'm like, there's certain times where I'm like, fuck. Like if you're like in a hotel room and there's nothing to do and you're like, you want to have a party, you can't do
So
it.
you just carry a small speaker?
Yeah, well, no, this one's too heavy. I had one for a while that was like a JBL, but
So
yeah, no.
if you're going to someone's house that you don't really know, or if like you're couch surfing or something, you just kind of work off their vibes to see what they're into or
Yeah.
what to do. Like
You gotta let them run it.
if they're doing stuff, you don't want to be just sleeping on their couch still.
Yeah. There's like little things like, oh shit, I should probably fucking. So this is Dan Betz. He just filmed. He's going on a trip to Asia or soon.
Hopefully.
Well, he's
I
going.
got to.
He's one of my old buddies from high school as well in Minnesota, and yeah, he wanted me to unpack my bag because that's kind of how I started traveling. Is I had my buddy Lil John unpack his bag for me, and I took notes, and then that's like where I went and bought all my shit and figured out what to pack. So I just did that for him, and we just filmed that thing. But I figured might as well do a podcast because we were talking afterwards, and he was asking me all these questions about, traveling and what to do and what not to do. So here we are. This is Safari Stories number 2. Yeah.
Going live.
So yeah, what were you saying there? Oh yeah. If you're couch surfing, you don't want to be just laying
Or
on
like
the couch.
if you go to people's houses that you don't know, or like what they do really.
Yeah.
You don't want to just take over their space.
Definitely not.
So you just work off of them, or you just kind of get the vibes?
Yeah, so say someone, this is a good example, say someone has a 9-to-5 job. You do not want to be sleeping on the couch when they leave for work, and you do not want to be laying on the couch when they come back from work, because they're out like hustling, paying for this spot that you're using, which you could be a pretty shitty person in that regard. People are like, oh, you just go travel around and just use people, you stay at their house or whatever.
Yeah.
So you gotta like do something, Like if someone has a 9-to-5, I always like to try to at least wake up before them, be doing something. Whether if you can cook them breakfast or any little thing like that.
Would you try to leave with them in the morning?
Yeah, leave before they leave. That's pretty sick if you can do that, and then you're out all day, and then you come home after they get home. Because people like want to like get done with their job and like come home and relax, be alone, do whatever they need to do, just chill, and they don't want to like I think that they have to entertain you type of thing. So if you can do those little things, like it's all like the little things that'll make it.
On the flip side of that, like if you left super early and came back late, like do they feel like you're just using their house for a bed?
I mean, if you're on the couch surfing app, that's what it is. But,
I mean, like, some people want to, like, get to know the person, or, like...
Yeah, well, if they're gone all day, then fucking... I think it's, like, it's respectful, for sure.
Yeah.
They're gone all day, and then you should be gone all day. And you're not, like, working, but you're hustling. And, that's the point where, like, if you cook them dinner or something, or, like, if you clean the whole house, if you are laying on the couch, if they come back and you clean the whole entire table, you know what I mean, wipe shit down, then they're going to be like, dude, you can stay here as long as you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they're like on the couch surfing app, then they probably want people to come because they want to show them their city. They're like, and they're like, this city's dope, it has a lot to offer, and I can show you exactly what to do.
So that'd be the sweet thing about using that too.
Yeah.
Because you get the locals' perspective.
Yeah, it's the shit. It's the best, man. What were some of the other questions you were asking me earlier? It's hard to kind of recap, huh?
Yeah, we were talking about getting into...
banks.
Getting into countries.
Getting into countries and banks. I'd say those are 2 crucial tips that people probably don't think about too much.
Yeah.
So, if you're trying to get into a country, the UK, I've had troubles a few times here and there. The UK is probably the shittiest because they want to know pretty much wherever you go. They don't want the customs people don't want to. Oh, they don't want you to be earning money and not paying taxes in their country. So they want to make sure that either you're going there for leisure, you're going there for a definitive amount of time, and you're going to leave without...
You have a set date to leave.
Exactly. So that's where I've ran into problems like going to the UK. The UK is super strict. And you have to... If you say
So they've questioned you hard?
Yeah, I've been stuck there for like 20 minutes and they're grilling me. Like, they'll ask you, like, who exactly are you staying with? You got to give them the name. How did you meet this person? How long have you known them? Blah, 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 blah. What I've even gotten down to like, they're like, how much money do you have? And I'll lie, because I usually travel poor as fuck.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, I got like $10,000. And they'll be like, that's all you have for a month? Are you kidding me? You're never going to survive here. And I'm like, I have a credit card and my parents will siphon money into it if I ever need it, you know? And because they really think
That's just at like the UK?
Yeah, UK is really strict about it. And they'll even ask you like, all right, so tomorrow, what are you going to do for breakfast? What are you going to do for lunch? What are you going to do for dinner? What's your plan for the day? What are you doing all week? And you have to like, dude, I've fabricated full stories. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, the first few times I was so startled by it. I almost didn't get let in one time. But yeah, there's other countries that don't fucking matter at all. So if I'm flying to the UK now, I have who's ever booking my flight, or if I'm booking it, you say that you're only going for like 2 weeks. So you have a definitive date to show them, all right, I'm coming here this time, I'm leaving here. I'm staying at hostels or whatever the hell you do.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you get into the country, you change your flight. And if you change your flight, you can change it for 3-4 months in the future, and you know you're not really. I think 3 months is the most amount of time you can stay in certain countries in the world.
Yeah, 90 days is typical, I think.
Yeah, but there's some that are like, I think there's like Spain and what's that island in the Mediterranean? It starts with a C. Cyprus. Cyprus, and then there's a few other ones that are 4 months. Out of every 6 months, you can be in that country.
Oh.
So, but you know, there's very few countries who care, you know, and there's some that care way less than others. Like there's Spain, who doesn't give a shit at all. They don't even check, you know, your previous travel plans where you've been. Like there's some places that'll add up exactly the dates between this stamp and this stamp, this stamp and this stamp. Yeah, and they'll see how long, and if you violate it, then they'll try and send you back.
So when you went to the Philippines, was it tight or loose? Or?
Super chill. Philippines were chill. Japan was chill. UK is super strict. Spain's super chill. France is pretty chill. The UK is really the shittiest one to get into, I'd say. And then, so yeah, that's pretty much that.
And then banks.
Banks. So I travel with 4 different bank accounts.
All different banks?
All different banks. And that is because you'll be in a certain country and possibly 3 of them will fail at ATMs.
Aren't you saying that happened to you?
Yeah, it happened in Germany. I couldn't use any of my cards.
Yeah.
It was fucked. I had to pay my buddy back because my card wouldn't work. And I was like, oh, it'll work.
So you called all your banks and told them, like, I'm...
Yeah, I had to, like, call
So you say, like, you're changing, like, if you went from Japan to the Philippines, do you tell them?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
You're just saying, I'm out there.
And I usually, now, you have to warn all your banks before you go somewhere. You have to be like, all right, I'm going out of the country from this date to this date. And I'm going to be in these countries. And they'll make a note of it, not to cancel your account. Because if you go somewhere and you make a charge or, you know, pull out $200-$300 in some foreign country out of nowhere,
well, they'll for sure deny it.
Freeze your account.
Yeah.
And if you get your account frozen, 1, it's super hard to talk to the bank because you can't call when you're overseas. And 2, you're stuck. You have no fucking money.
So what'd you do?
Well, that's why I have 4 banks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like you got to have all these different options. But in Germany, I luckily had my buddy James who like spotted me for a while until I could pay him back. But if I didn't have that, I'd be fucked. And there's some places where you will actually be fucked. So I definitely suggest having multiple bank accounts. And you need a card with a chip. That's like the new thing that's everywhere else in the world, but in America, nobody cares about the chip. We still swipe.
Yeah.
They only do the...
So if you're in Tokyo and say you want to go to Australia just on a whim, do you call your all 4 banks?
No, see, I would tell my bank that before the trip that I'm thinking about going there.
Oh, okay. So this is a possibility.
Yeah, you just gotta be like, hey, I'm probably gonna be here and here, and they'll try and make you say like, oh, you'll be here for these dates and these dates. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna be bouncing around in this region of the world.
Yeah.
So don't freeze my fucking account. And sometimes they still freeze your fucking account, and you're just like, dude, you can't. Nothing worse than having money on this stupid piece of plastic, but you don't have any money.
Get to.
Yeah, you can't access this money, and it frustrates the shit out of you. You're just like.
And imagine if like your buddy didn't spot you.
Oh,
like, I didn't know anyone.
If I didn't know anyone, it would be a struggle. You'd have to like get a wire transfer or something. Like one day, I spent a full day going. I went to like 8 different banks. It was like one of my last days in Berlin, and I went to. I think it was 6 or 8.
See,
Either
that's
way.
Something you don't want to deal with.
A lot of them, yeah. It fucking sucked. And I'm like, hey, do you know anywhere that will accept a card that will swipe? And they're like, no. Maybe try this one. Yeah. And I go there and they're like, no, man, you're fucked. And then finally, none of them actually worked. I had to call my parents and had them transfer money. If I didn't have my parents as an outlet there, I'd be fucked. I had to have them transfer money into another bank account because I ran one of them dry. One of my accounts with the chip reader,
yeah.
I ran it dry. So that was the only one I could actually get money out. So they had to like specially drive to the fucking bank.
Have your shit in order.
Yeah, so it was fucked.
So multiple banks key.
So if you don't have really nice parents who are going to help you out in a situation where you're stranded,
yeah,
then you probably have multiple banks.
Yeah, I gotta get on that. Only got one right now.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, and then with your cards, like, we did the packing video, but put your cards, like, keep half your cards on you in your wallet, and then half your cards in a special pocket in your backpack. So if your backpack gets stolen, you're not fucked.
Oh, yeah.
And if your wallet, if you get robbed, you're not fucked either. You still have the cards
And
in your
did
backpack.
you say you make photocopies of your passport and all that, or you just take pictures?
Just take photos.
And
And then I'll email them to myself, too.
Just to always have it on hand.
Yeah, take a photo, email, because then you can access the emails from anywhere, even if your phone gets stolen. You gotta think about, alright, like, if this shit all gets stolen, what am I gonna do? Like,
have you ever had something major get stolen or go completely wrong, or not too bad?
no. Not yet. I started kind of slow, you know what I mean? Like, I started just going to the UK slowly, having people I knew around me, and then I, like, started going on a little bit further with less people, and now I'm doing the thing where I'm, like, completely solo with no plans and just kind of going, like, I'll go somewhere that I've never been and I don't know anyone, kind of send it. And I didn't start like this, but anyone could, you know what I mean? Like, it's not hard. You just have to, like, check your P's and Q's, you know what I mean?
Just make sure you're on top of it.
Yeah. What do you think about the bag?
Bag's good. I like the carry-on size. So you don't have to check it.
40 plus 10.
So you're saying keep it under 40 liters or around there?
Yeah. 40 liters is a good amount to have, like, as your solid base.
Yeah.
But see, you can do less because you don't have your bike. So you don't need...
A bike would be... I'm not going to bring one.
Dude,
but a bike, like, getting around places would be sweet to have.
Yo, even... can you skateboard at all? Can you, like... Have you ever tried it?
No.
Well,
I mean, I can, but...
It's something to look into because you can carry on a skateboard onto an airplane. Like, if you get, like, a skateboard with longboard wheels, you can have that on and it easily straps to your backpack, and it can make life a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
You can bring it inside places. You don't need to lock it up. And you can if you just have a day bag, you can just skirt around a city way faster.
That'd be sweet. Going around a city on that, instead of trying to walk and
walking.
use like the bus system or something.
Yeah, well, you can figure those things out, which is fun. But dude, even just like I don't even know if you like skateboarding at all, but if you were to like it at all or figure out that you like it, then you can just do that, and you don't even need to be like, all right, I'm going to check out this museum. You can just be like, I'm just gonna go cruise around, and that's thing that I would say is different between my travels and other people's is that like. I am completely okay with going to a city where I know no one, know nothing about it, and I don't give a shit about the museums. Like, I'll, like, just pedal around and be happy.
Yeah.
Just looking at how this city is different, how the pavement's different. You know, go and lay on the beach for a while with my bike, and then get up an hour later, and then just go and start pedaling around and go to the top of a mountain and see what's up there.
Yeah. See, the nice thing with a bike is you can cover so much more distance, too.
Yeah. But it's not that feasible unless you have the full bag and it's
No,
not
I'm
a lot
not
more fun.
bringing no bike.
Yeah,
Definitely
but the
not.
skateboard is a fucking nice substitute, and you'll get better at skateboarding, which is tight. You know.
Yeah, unless I get hurt, which also brings up travel insurance.
I do not have travel insurance.
Nothing.
No. Dude, yeah. People ask me about that a lot. I think I did the first time I went to the UK. I did, but dude, you don't actually like. Countries will help you out. Like one time I got strep throat in Spain, and they needed me to, or they're like, you have to go to the hospital to get a prescription to get these antibiotics. I knew that I needed the specific antibiotics. I've had strep throat before. And I just went to I spent a day, I went to 7 different pharmacies, and I just asked them, I was like, yo, I'm from here, or I'm from America, I have strep throat, I know I have this, I need these pills, I ran out of my prescription, and if I don't get them, I'm fucked. And they'd be like, you have to go to the hospital. I'd be like, I can't afford it. I'm broke traveling from America. I cannot afford this. I need these pills.
Yeah.
What can you do for me? And 6 in a row denied me. And then finally I went to the last one, and it was this younger girl, and I was like, yo, I need this shit. I really, really
And she
need
hooked
this
it
shit.
up?
And she just kind of rolled her eyes and fucking went to the back and sold me the pills. It was $2 for a box.
Really?
Yeah. It was sick. And then in Greece, dude, it's way chiller than America. America's so very strict with how you have to get prescriptions and things. In Greece, I stepped on a sea urchin while swimming.
Yeah.
And it got infected, so my foot was throbbing red and swollen as fuck. And I just went to the pharmacy, and the dude was like, yeah, it's infected.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, well, what do I do? He's like, have you put olive oil on it yet? It's like, what the fuck does that help, you know? and he's like, oh, it'll suck up the sea urchin spike. And I'm like, alright. And then he gave me the pills. It was super cheap. I went home, fucking coated my shit in olive oil for a few days, and it sure enough sucked out the
Really?
spike, and yeah, then I was fine with the pills.
Yeah, I've looked into travel insurance. I'm kind of on the fence.
It depends how poor you are.
Yeah,
If
it is
you're-
expensive, but you read stuff on the internet, and they're like, oh, it's a must, in case if something goes wrong.
See, that's the difference between me and most people who travel, is that I don't have money for things like that,
Yeah,
you know? So I just do it the cheapest way possible and try and figure it out.
and then take it on as it goes.
Yeah. Dude, you'll never be completely fucked. You know what I mean? You'll never be completely alone, and you'll never be completely fucked, because people are really helpful. Even if you're somewhere where they hate white people and hate Americans, you're bound to find someone
That'll help you out.
yeah, if you're, fuck, man. It's happened time and time again where I'm stranded or something happens and somebody offers up a helping hand.
Yeah.
And I do the same thing for somebody here, that makes me think about it in Minnesota. If there's someone who's lost, or, I feel old me would be like, eh.
Yeah, let him go.
Yeah, and then now it's all right, what do you need, man? How can I help you?
Yeah.
That shit keeps rolling,
It's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you got it, man. Even having never done it before and going to a crazy place like that.
It's crazy to think about.
See, that's what I
But
even do
feel
that now.
once you get in that atmosphere, after a day or two, I feel it'll be normal. I don't know.
Yeah. I've been there. Even now before trips, I'll be like, dude, my palms will get sweaty, and I'm just thinking, holy fuck, this is gonna be crazy. What am I gonna do? Where am I gonna go? And the ambiguity, that's the thing that's tearing away at your brain.
Yeah.
But if you just go,
One of the things
then it's real.
Yeah.
And it's not a big thing.
Yeah. One of the things I think about is you're traveling solo. Other people maybe are traveling in groups. You don't want to be that one dude that just attaches onto their group.
What do you mean?
Because maybe they're doing their own thing.
Oh, if you meet someone and you're
Yeah.
want to mob them?
Yeah.
It's yeah. I've been in both situations. I've been when I was traveling with my buddy James Dean. We ran into these 2 dudes. These 2 kids were staying at our hostel in Morocco, and we hung out with them for dude. We told them about this city that was crazy. It was Hash Mountain, You know, we're like, dude, we're going to Hash Mountain. We met him in a completely different city, and we're like, dude, we're going to Hash Mountain. Fucking, we just came from the desert, we're going there, blah, blah, blah. And they're so intrigued.
Yeah.
And there's 2 white kids from America as well. And one of them wasn't white, but they're Americans. And they're like, well, fuck, we were going to go do this, but that sounds pretty sick. And they just, like, hopped along with us, you know? Like, it wasn't a bad thing at all. It was sick.
Yeah.
Hung out with them. I don't even remember their names or have any information about them, but yeah.
Good time.
Yeah, it was sick as fuck, man. Definitely enjoyable. Yeah.
It's exciting to think about. Nerve-wracking, but I feel like once you make the commitment, you'll look back and it'll be 100% worth it.
Yeah, it will be.
Like, just like looking at, like, when you go places, looking at everything you've seen, things you've been through, it's like, man, that's living.
It changes.
Or you could stay here and just do the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. I've learned a lot here, you know, and even going to college or whatever experience you want to chalk it up to, but
Yeah.
when you do something like that, when you step out of your comfort zone, I think it's about, dude, because I guess it kind of comes down to, like, the purpose of life, you know? What is the purpose of life? There's really no fucking purpose at all. We're all just living, and you're gonna die, so you probably want to have some memories or things that you can think about when you're about to die that are like, damn, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Likelihood is you're not gonna die. Imagine you go on this trip and fucking die. I might not travel ever again. I'm gonna be like, holy shit, I told this guy to go travel and he died?
He's done.
I said don't get travel insurance, and then he fucking he needed it at the time when it was most, and now he's dead. You know, I don't want to deal with that, but fuck, it can happen, you know. But yeah, fuck, you're all gonna die, and it makes you happy when you're doing something normal to think that you've done something crazy type of thing.
Yeah. I won't die.
You won't die. And even if you do, you fucking die. Who cares?
You're living.
Yeah, dude. I'd rather die doing something crazy than die in a car crash on the way to fucking work.
Oh, God.
You know.
Terrible.
Yeah, but it could have, you know, the likelihood is insane. And actually, I feel like when you're traveling, you're like, your instincts are more on point to a point where you're like, how you do have your head on a swivel because you realize how vulnerable you are and how much you stand out and things like that, you know.
Do you feel like people try to take advantage of you?
Not really. Sometimes, oh yeah, definitely like with paying for things. If like in Morocco, people trying to hustle you, Philippines as well, people trying to be like, it costs this much, and you're like, fuck you, I know it costs a quarter of that. And they're like, what? And they'll get all mad, and then you like keep talking to them or arguing or whatever, and then they're like, alright, fine, and they accept the price that you said.
Yeah.
And you could have probably even gone cheaper than that. So like that's like the only time, and it's just because they know that you have a lot of money and you don't want to deal with the banter.
So you try to barter?
Oh yeah. Some places are built on it. Like that's the only thing you do. Some places are like very strict. Like no, this is the price. We're not. You know what I mean? It's like set into it. But yeah, bartering is fun sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you showed me how to pack my bag, what to bring. Don't bring too much.
You can always get more. You can always throw shit away, but it's harder to throw things away than it is to buy more.
Throw shit away.
You said you wanted to spend $30 a day. I've done $10
if I
a
gotta
day.
pay up for housing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'd usually stay with people, but
Yeah.
$10 a day is feasible.
If I
A lot of
couch
places.
surf or, like you said, you could hit up some homies or something.
Yeah.
It'd be less than that, but
It's good to know that that's your threshold.
Yeah.
And like just do the finances to be like, all right, if I spend this much a day for this many days, I'll be able to. At this point, I need to buy a flight home type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, so like keeping your eye on like how much flights are to get home, because getting home is important, or back to a place where you can at least work.
that's the thing too. You told me, you're like, hey, if you go there, don't like it, like, terrible, you can always just buy a flight home.
Yeah. Or buy a one-way to any other country.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything. You'd be like, fuck, Asia's too crazy. I'm going to Europe.
Yeah.
Then you just fly to Europe.
And then you're in Europe.
Yeah, and then you're there. And that's a whole new thing. Europe's more like America, you know?
That's the thing.
You
Just fly where you want.
You gonna do it?
I got to.
When are you gonna leave? You hit me up like, when are you leaving for your next trip? I gotta go see you unpack your
Yeah,
bag.
because I knew that you were leaving soon.
Yeah.
I'll probably wait till, I'm hoping, early January.
Do it.
Yeah.
Should probably start looking into flights right now.
Yeah, I've been checking them all.
There's a few apps. There's like, what is it called? I think is it Kayak?
I use Google Flights.
Google Flights is sick.
There's the one that like is kind of sketchy, like they don't know if they like it or not, but Skip Leg.
Yeah, Skip Leg is sick.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm thinking of. It's not Kayak. But there's Skip Leg is good. Google Flights are really good because you can look at specific days.
Yeah.
And then Cheapo Air is really good.
Yeah, I looked at that one.
And then if you're traveling with like a small enough pack, you like Vueling in Europe is really good. That's a good cheap. Vueling in Iberia, those are really cheap.
Small enough as in like would yours work?
Borderline. I might need to do the thing where I toss on 3 hoodies or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a bunch of shirts.
Yeah.
But yeah. See, it's really not that hard to like crank that thing down to like really small though. That's the thing that's sick about it.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. It's gotta happen now.
Yeah, dude, you made all this effort.
Yeah.
Might as well do it.
You got me all motivated and shit.
Yeah. That's the dream with these fucking podcasts. It's like if I like imagine people watch this and they're like, fuck yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
A backpack is $100. The sleeping bag is fucking $70. Hammock is this much.
That's like me.
Yeah.
I'm like
All right.
all new to this experience. I came over here to look at your bag because I've no idea.
Yeah, you probably learned a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I started. Just looking at someone's bag and I was like, oh, this is how you do it. This is how you travel for months on end with no home
Yep.
and stay somewhat comfortable. Boom. And like I've modified it, you know, like I have things that he didn't have, Lil John didn't have, and he has things that I don't have. But there's like a few main things that it's like, dude, just get this. It's like, fuck, what is it? Like $200-300 investment?
Yeah.
And then you're like, literally, you figure out everything from there too. You're able to do whatever you want and go wherever you want. And then the best shit is Southeast Asia is so cheap. You said $30 a day. You could be staying in a 5-star hotel for $30 a day and be eating 5-star meals.
Yeah.
You know, and so then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I allotted for $30 a day and I'm spending $5 a day. Oh, well now I can travel for another 2 months or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, ball out.
It's a beautiful world.
You can do whatever you want, dude. And being American is sick because we can travel fucking freely to so many countries.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of countries that can't go certain places, like if you're from there. And there's like limitations, like just with like the money that you can bring in certain countries. You can't earn enough money to travel to other places and have money. Whereas we're able to work a minimum wage job for 2 months, quit, and fly around the world and eat.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. And if you find like the cheap places where your money's worth a lot, American dollar's worth a lot, then you're fucking set.
It's like, I don't know what it's compared to, but I think in Thailand it's like that.
Yeah, Thailand, Philippines, Morocco. I'm looking for those places specifically because
Yeah.
when you go somewhere like that versus somewhere where it's really
Or
expensive.
it's the opposite.
Yeah, then you're
oh, fuck.
Yeah, fuck. Like, dude, I could be there and spent like, you know, a day here is a week there.
Yeah.
And when you realize that, you're like, dude, what am I doing here? Like, there's got to be a pretty fucking good reason you're there, rather than the place where you're rich. Like, being rich is sick. Even being rich when you're poor is super tight. You know, and that's, dude, I thrive on that.
Because you were saying that, you said you don't travel, you don't need much to travel, but then you go somewhere and you're like the rich dude.
Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, I got like what? I don't even know how much I have now in my bank account. There's been times that I have like, $1,000, $2,000 chilling.
Chilling.
I've flown
completely fine with that.
I think it was the first or second time I flew to Europe or UK, I had $100 in my bank account. And that was the time when they're like, how much do you have in your bank account? And I knew that I had to like say some shit, so I was like, oh, I have like $10,000. They're like, that's it?
Yeah.
You have $10,000 for 6 weeks here? And I was like,
Holy shit.
Dude, if you guys knew that I had $100 to my name, like, what the fuck are you talking about, you know? But I ended up getting help out from BSD, but still,
Yeah.
not $10,000 worth.
No.
Holy shit, like nothing. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I feel like that's a pretty short podcast. I don't even know how long we've been going, but
Yeah, I don't know.
fuck it. I wish you
Gotta
the best
make
of
it
luck.
happen.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions about this or any other details of fucking whatever, just post them in the comments and I'll try and bring them up in the next podcast.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. That's that.
Dude, I gotta make it happen now.
Dude, there's no choice.
I'm pumped. All you gotta do is just book that first ticket.
One way, baby.